Good morning, guys. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at your light painting pictures. I have a couple of different ways that I shot them, but let's be real. Anytime you shoot light painting pictures for the first time, they're not all that great. It's really hard to capture, and there are a lot of people on like Instagram and YouTube that make it look really easy because they're professionals and they've been doing it for a long time. But the first time you do it, it's a little bit difficult. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can kind of play around with them just to make them look neater. And we're actually going to combine all of our light painting photos together. So I have a couple of different versions here that I took in different ways. So this one is with fireworks. This one's with a glow stick. You can see there's a person back there holding the glow stick. And then this was with a sparkler. And then this is also fireworks. I thought I'd include that one because it shows the ones that stick around for a long time, and as well as the ones that are just in quick bursts. So you can see how light painting looks very different depending on what you use to do it, or even how those lights function. All right, so let's just start out by dragging all of these into one image. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these tabs down. And then by clicking on the Move tool, I'm going to click on each picture and drag them into the background. So you notice that I have one that I left up there, and I can get rid of each one of them once I've brought them in. Remember, I'm clicking on the picture and dragging it. I'm not clicking on the window because that, of course, moves the window, whereas if you click on the picture and move it, that will move the picture. First thing that I'm going to use is my blending options up here. So in my layers palette, where it says normal, I'm going to just mouse down on these and see what options I get if I choose other things. So lighten is pretty fun. I'm going to do the same with this and see what it takes to get them all kind of combined. All right, so now I'm kind of seeing all of them. Oh, I like that, so we'll stick with that. Of course, I do want to get these moved over, so let me go ahead and turn that off. Center all of these up. There's actually a lot going on in the center here, so I think I'll still move this one maybe just kind of off to the side where there's less going on. Okay? Now, at this point, just using the blending options, that still looks pretty fun. I could leave it like that, but I want to go ahead and show you how to do some stuff with gradients. So if you don't already have your gradients palette open and it looks like this, you can also go into Window and choose Gradients. If it's not checked, you want to make sure that it's checked, and then that will pull it up. If it is already checked, once again, you're just looking for this, okay? Now, the pretty cool thing about this is I can create a new layer and then just pick one and drop it in. Oh, look at that, it automatically goes into that. So that's pretty cool. I'm right now there's a bunch of different pre-made gradients that you can play around with, or you can create your own. But for right now, just kind of experiment with some of the stuff that they have here. All right, from here, I'm going to just experiment. So let's try lowering the opacity. That's kind of fun. It's still on normal. I can try different blending options with the gradient as well, too. And I think I will stick with something along those lines for my final, unless I want to do something else and make my own gradient. So let me show you how to do that. If I'm in this empty layer, I can choose G on my keyboard. That's going to open up the gradient tool. And then I can click and drag, and it's going to apply whatever gradient is here. So you can change them just the way that you would change them here. You could choose something different, whatever you want to do. But each one of these is called a stop, and a color is assigned to each stop. We can change those too. I'll show you how to do that in a minute, but I first want to show you that right now we are on just a regular gradient. I can turn it into a radial gradient where it radiates from the center out. So you see how It's quite a large gradient at this point. So let's shrink this so I can show you. You can make it smaller. Okay. So there are all different types of shapes of the gradient that you can work with. All right. So let's just stick with that for right now. And then I'm going to double click on that stop right there. And you can see I can change that to any color I want. So I'm going to just cancel because I kind of like how it is. But once again, you just double click on the stop itself and you can choose a different color. Okay. And then same thing like we did last time, I can lower the opacity if I want and or create a blending mode. All right, and now even though none of them are like super duper awesome on their own, now that they're kind of layered, it's a whole lot more exciting. I can also, with a blending option, just take a brush. I can take this, sure, why not? Let's just mess with this bright green. Let's use a brush. So I'm going to hit B on my keyboard and it doesn't want to stick. I have a very soft edged brush. I'm going to take that down all the way. Make it larger. I'm using the right bracket on the keyboard to make it larger. And I can just draw a line across and once again see what my blending options do for me. And so if you want to highlight one specific area, you can do that. Let's take this, but lower the opacity. And then see what it looks like without. Okay, I think I like it before anyway. But just a couple of things that you can take a look at that you can try and experiment with. And even if you don't love your pictures for your light painting, if you stack them, you might make yourself a much more dynamic design. Good luck and let me know if you guys have any questions.